Well, welcome back to the Carbon Oasis, folks. As you can see, we've got some greenery around. I've got kindly gifted by Bev Green an aviary, another small cage, and yet another small cage. I've done some scrounging in refills. Some people saw fit to throw out nearly an entire trampoline. You'll see let's see if I can do this. You'll see the black thing up there. There's most of the pipes. I think it's missing 2 or 3, but I've got I didn't bother counting how many springs. I've got about over 30 springs in there as well, high tensile springs that may come into use. Things have been busy. Catherine is settling in. She's been having a little bit of in fact it's good she's settling down now, because I've been in and out with the barrow a lot, because I've been working on the drainage system again, because to me it's critical to make sure that every bit of water is used efficiently. Now, you'll notice there's a big pile of clay here of various types. I've been excavating. Underneath that, if you remember, would be a large amount of organic material consisting of paper bark branches, corn stalks, and any large bits of cooch or weedy dirt that I can't be bothered dealing with gone in there. Now, the organic pile was a good 2.5 foot high. This is going to be up around 3 foot, so I've got at least 4 or 6 inches on top of it. And what I'm going to do here is, 1, let that fester, but 2, build a garden on top of that, in the hope that the slight elevation will increase frost resistance or frost protection in the area. Another microclimate yet again, because I noticed last season that my tomatoes were still producing tomatoes into winter, were the ones that were all elevated above the cold. So we'll try it. But as you can hear as I'm walking, there's a scrunching sound because I'm walking on a thin layer of coals. I've done this before, and as you remember, I excavated here, and the stuff that came out of there was quite remarkable. I was putting it down to try and introduce carbon into the soil, but to me, for an all-weather surface, especially a temporary one, it's as good as gravel, but better than gravel because it generates soil underneath it. No sticky clay or whatnot. Fabulous. Just something I stumbled on. Now, back to here. This was the wet area, as you know, and I hopefully have a freshwater turtle in there. But again, courtesy of Bev Green, I think I mentioned I've got a submersible pump, and so I've been doing some excavating, and you might see a hole here. Now, I haven't measured it out. I'll give you a video when I have. What's most interesting to me at the moment is the strata. You can see clay, and you can see black layer down there, and then it goes clay, 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 and then right down the bottom, the black layer. However, if we look at it from this angle, here we've got topsoil. This is the area that's been gardened, and it looks like, though, that even this area here has deeper topsoil than elsewhere. Now, this is the lowest point in the garden, and perhaps historically any runoff is washed in here. But there's a black layer there, there's another black layer there, and a third one. I don't know whether you can see it, it's way down the bottom there, and I look like I'm just starting to hit a 4th one. Now, I don't know the history of this area, nor do I know how long ago those layers were deposited. I don't know whether they're a result of extensive bushfires, or whether it's gone anoxic and therefore gone black due to extensive flooding, given that this is a low area on an alluvial floodplain of a levee river, and historically it's flooded and changed course, and we're, less than 300 metres from the river here, so we're right on the floodplain. We just happen to be on higher ground. But these once in 100-year floods are nothing compared to what happens once every million years or so. But it does give you an interesting look at what the carbon oasis is actually built on. There's a layer of clay here, and I think you can see even where I've been cultivating, the topsoil and then the layer of sand I laid down is only about 20-25 centimeters deep before we get into clay here. So this area over here must have had a very, very different history to this. How bizarre. But you never know, you'll never find it if you don't go looking. So I just thought I'd share that with you. It's yeah, it's interesting. I don't know how deep the hole is. It's got to be over 1.5 meters deep, but I'll measure it. This hole is also going to be extended this way, but then built back from the shed, because I don't know, I want to upset the foundations of the shed, and I've got some beautiful industrial grade black polypropylene that's going to be double lining this area. Now I'm not going to bother moving or changing anything about those rocks. I might dig that out a little deeper, and I think you'll see a line running from there through to here is where the where that area will be about the same, but then it'll start to drop off. And as you can see, I'm deliberately moving it away. One, I want a narrow path to be able to access this area, and two, I want to protect the foundations of the shed so it doesn't move. Thankfully, due to the clays, it has not moved and probably won't, but I prefer to be cautious. Everything else is going well. Strawberries are flowering. Oh, this is new. Most people, in fact, until I bought these, I thought all strawberries had white flowers. This one is called a Temptation, and it has a white flower. This one's called a Roman, and it has a pink flower. And this devil, that I can't remember which one it is, has a red flower. Now, I've never seen red or pink in strawberry flowers, and I've grown a few, and my father-in-law farmed the things. He had many different varieties, and all of them were like this, having white flowers, but not pink. Definitely not red. All right, everything else is going well. Beetroot's up. I'm waiting for corn and beans and all sorts of things to come online. Well, that's probably the longest one I've done. Peace, love and light, people.